Felt good about operationally. I thought those guys did a really nice job. Again, anytime you're in that first live situation in the stadium, a lot of what we're looking for is what does that look like from the standpoint of getting able to get aligned, efficient communication, please there. Certainly like the explosiveness, some of the big plays, but just consistency. It's always going to come down to that, being the most consistent offense we can be.
I've talked about after the scrimmage using the helmet communication. Can you just maybe talk about being able to use that for the first time?
Yeah, it was great. It really was. I think there's just a certain level of comfort where you're at least connected to the main guy down there on the field. And there's certainly some things we've learned from it, some things that we feel we can utilize with it. But again, we are practicing 75% of the time like we have it, and about 25% of the time that we don't, and we think that's important.
Bush, Brock, just seeing him 11 on 11 in game setting, just what were your overall impressions of how he performed Saturday?
Yeah, extremely steady. He's a guy that knows what he wants to do. Is really playing a consistent brand of football. Certainly things we want to take the next steps on with him. But he has been a guy since we've got here that just keeps getting better and better. So I think he's got a really good grasp of this thing. We're excited to cut him loose.
What should we think of those scrimmages? It's kind of moving day for guys on the depth chart. Anybody who stood out Saturday who you have to take some more notice of now?
Yeah, I think certainly a couple guys jumped out to us. Hardly Gilmore had an extremely good scrimmage. A guy that obviously we've been high on since we got here. Jamarian Wilcox did a really nice job at running back, and some of those other young running backs really got some opportunities to do some good things. Was pleased with both Farmer and Mincy on the right side of the line and the line in general and how they protected. So again, as you guys know, it's a constant moving a guy here to the left side, to the right side, trying to make the best lineups you can, but there's certainly some guys really coming on.
Bush, how are you doing on explosive
plays?
They
were really high on Wilcox coming into this last year. We didn't hear much about him in the registration. We didn't hear much about him in the spring. What's the biggest difference?
There's always been a level of toughness with him, and there's always been, of all the backs, he's got that explosive play potential that we just mentioned. So now it just comes down to, again, the scheme, knowing what to do on every play, not just some of those plays for him, and playing a little bit overall more consistent.
In general, how are they coming along picking up your offensive scheme?
They've done a tremendous job. I've said this all along here about this program. These guys want to be here. They're excited to be here. There's something about the culture here, and so they are all in 1,000%. I think for us, from an installation standpoint, we're throwing a lot at them. We are, and we're still in that phase of introduction, and then here in about 3-4 days, we'll kind of start to get this thing locked in. But it's an eager group. It's a good group that wants to work hard, and I've been super appreciative to that.
And on those explosive, Coach, how you doing overall across the board, getting them executed?
Always room for improvement, but again, there's big play potential in this offense. There is. We think both schematically, but also the players that we have. We often talk about it. You never know when that play's going to come, but you get one shot at it. So you got to be ready. We got to trust landmarks. We got to make big plays, and obviously we got to keep working towards that.
Well, you talked about the tight end room. There's obviously experience coming back. How was that room coming along with Josh Caddis specifically? He has some big plays, but he could be a threat in the passing game too. What have you seen out of him?
Yeah, steady. And I know I've said that kind of a couple times, but that's a group that's been extremely steady. I think, those top three guys are as solid as any group we probably have on the team. And again, put a lot on those guys. We're a team that's going to play in a lot of different personnel groupings, and their ability to know what to do in different spots will be critical.
You talked about Wilcox standing out to you. Stoops on Saturday said it's going to be kind of like a group effort from the running backs. Is that kind of how you see it going forward?
I do. I think we have 3 or 4 guys that can all do good things. Much like in a lot of ways we say our wide receiver room. We think we're building 5, 6 different guys that all have certain traits that can help us. And so we all know it. These great teams have got to be extremely unselfish, buy into whatever their role is, and get it done. And we really feel like we've got the personnel to do that.
When you build a new system, you got Dane and Barry on, who have obviously 2 years of experience here. But when it's a new system, everyone's kind of brand new. Have Dane and Barry helped in that room with the experience? Have they helped the newer guys, or is everyone just kind of on a fresh slate?
I think those veteran players, although everybody's learning the new system, I think the experience that they have of playing college football never leaves you, and so I think for those guys, for them to realize, hey, maybe last year we called it this year we call it that, but just little things, we get into a 2-minute situation, what to do with the ball, what do we do off certain checks, and so on and so forth. I think all those veteran type guys, probably starting with a guy like Eli Cox, is who we've relied on when it comes to football 101, if you will, non-specific stuff to just our offense.
Bush, when you go 11 on 11, tackle to the ground, does that allow you to get a better look or feel for how the run game is operating? And then did that surprise you one way or the other, or impress you or whatnot when you saw you were able to run when you're tackling to the ground?
I think it absolutely does, because certainly player safety in non-live situations is first and foremost. I think there's a little bit of the surprise factor as well. Just initially, I think we threw a long pass and they were bringing Dane down, and I was almost like, man, I forgot that they got to bring him to the ground now, So a lot of times a couple more explosives happen that way. Again, it's that fine balance of being able to, make sure that you got player safety, but getting the work in you need to get in.
What have you seen from Dane as far as the film that you saw when you first got here, and now he's playing at a bigger size and has that extra muscle?
Yeah, I always think this. I think everybody looks, for these top end, the flash. He can certainly run, but he has been a guy where if you throw it, anywhere around him, he's been coming down with it. And I think it's, from a quarterback standpoint, it changes your mindset a little bit too on where to place certain balls, where it's not always maybe trying to lead a guy, but it's like give him a chance to get up and go make plays. And I think that's the biggest thing.
They can say that though. It's all good. It's always a friendly competition. We all love each other at the end of the day. So it be days where they win and offense win. So it's all fun and games. So
Jamori, how is that connection with you and Brock coming along?
it's coming along great, man. Like I said, I miss spring. So now I'm just getting back a lot of reps with him, just thinking about what he's thinking on a bunch of routes and his timing, and we've been connecting pretty well lately. So.
Could you speak about the wide receiver room in general and how you guys are coming along?
Dogs, man. We got a bunch of dogs in that room. We got a lot of different players, man. We got a speed guy in Barryon. We got a taller guy in Dan, and you got like a more versatile, shorter guy in me. We got a bunch of other guys that can step up as well. AB, Harley, Fred. We all just push each other every day to be better, and I'm excited for this room.
Dane and Barryon obviously, have played here for a couple of years.
Yeah.
So you guys are all kind of on a fresh slate with a new offense.
Yeah.
So has their experience kind of helped? Have they helped you guys, or is everyone just kind of on a fresh slate?
Everybody's on a fresh slate, man. And I kind of came from this type of offense. I, played with Bush my first few years at Mizzou, so everything that I know he expects, I already know what it is. So I'm just trying to help those guys out, and we all starting fresh. So
We hear so much about Hardley, Jamori. What makes him special for a young guy?
He's just really talented, man. Like a lot of his skill set is just it's unmatched for a freshman. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just trying to push him to be more mature and just stay in his playbook and make sure he's eating right and doing all the things outside of football. Because on the football field he has it, So you got to stay on him as an older guy. Try to tell him man, you can't be doing this, you can't be doing that. You got to do this. I'm like a parent at this point. So that's what I'm just trying to help him out.
What's he got to get more mature with?
I'd probably say just how he treats his body. Probably the biggest thing, how he eats. Because he's like a kid, man. He's freaking 17, 18, so he want to eat cereal in the morning and before practice. And now he's out here tired. I'm like, brother, you got to eat something to fuel your body so you can get out here and finish these long practices. It's camp, so he's a freshman, so he's getting used to everything. By next year, he'll be really good.
So you don't like cereal?
I love cereal, man, but I don't know how he does it. He eat a bowl of cereal and comes out here and just do everything right. I'm like, bro, he's always tired, but in the practice, I'm like, because you don't eat right, So I'll be on him about that.
How's the install coming along for you guys?
It's pretty easy. It's pretty well. We're all getting it down packed, man. I just feel like we just got to stick to the basics and do the little things over and over again and just continue to work.
Is that something you have to help the younger guys with, just taking in that amount of information
Yeah.
in kind of a quick time?
Oh, yeah, most definitely. They see a lot of the things that me, Dane, and Barryon do, and they come to us and ask questions, so we just got to be able to help them.
How's it been with Coach George, and just kind of what's it like being able to learn from someone that's been in your shoes before?
Man, he pushes us, man. He holds us to a high standard every day. And then some of those days we don't even, we don't live up to that standard. But that's he does well as a coach is correcting us, and we love him.
Obviously, defense has something to say about it. But how much does this offense will we see explosive big plays?
A lot of them. If we can get a lot of them on our defense, we can get them on anybody. Our defensive line, our DBs, they're really good. And our coach, our defensive coordinator, they're all pretty good. So if we feel like we can get plays off on them, we can get plays off on anybody.
Speaking of our defense, who's your favorite guy to go up against in that defense?
Oh, gosh. My favorite guy to go up against is probably Max. I like going against Max, but Christian Story talks the most to me. I'll just be walking off here like, J-Mac, you suck. And I'm like, what I do to you, you know? But I like going against all our guys, man. I like to make them better. I treat myself every day like a pro, so I just go out there and go against those guys and help them out.
Coach told us today that with Dane, they're just telling the quarterbacks, give him a chance, and he's coming down.
Demi.
It's all coming along for you guys.
Man, it's coming along great, man. Everybody's getting along and, just picking things up really fast. And as you can see, we're moving as one unit every day of practice, So it's coming along great.
How different is it from this year until last year?
Last year, I feel like we got a lot more playmakers, Like, there's guys all over the field where we could put a receiver in the backfield, we could put a tight end in the backfield, put me out at receiver, you know what I'm saying? So it's just the versatility. Last year we had versatility, but now it's like expanded even more, with that transfer portal and just picking the guys up and young guys developing and, taking on new roles.
It kind of sounds like you were made for Bush's system.
Man, like, it's almost a dream come true, so it's like, well, my versatility is it just fits so well, and then the player that I am, I'm not, one trick pony, you know what I'm saying? So, like, I don't really get frustrated with being a starting guy or being a second guy. I like to, play my role or whatever you want to call it, so.
You get all the guys involved?
Yeah. That's the most important part, just getting everybody involved. Last year, it was kind of hard to do that, so this year we're putting an emphasis on that, getting more guys involved in the game.
How much does pace and code, just moving faster as an offense, have to do with that?
Man, last year we was a huddle offense. This year, we're tempoing things up, so conditioning this summer has been a little brutal, but the sun and the weather, that's something that we got to be used to, you know what I'm saying? And we're getting used to it, you know what I'm saying? A lot of guys are used to it already. There's some guys from up north, that's used to the cold, and you know what I'm saying? So just the tempo things is like we pretty used to it now, coming from the off season in the spring, getting used to the new OC's game plan. So I would say we're getting comfortable with the.
A player like you and your versatility, I know you played some in the slot last year.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something where maybe we could see you out there this year? And when you're a player like that, are you bouncing back and forth between as an offense? You as a veteran, get out and play, a real game like setting like you'll have on Saturday. Did anything really impress you? A unit, maybe one player, or just as you all operating as a unit?
There's a couple players, especially in the running back room, man. Like the freshmen, Jamarion Wilcox and Jason Patterson, man. Them kids, man, they've been working so hard, especially with just being like, well, Jamarion's a sophomore now, and JP, he's just a freshman. But yeah, like the work they've been putting in and their growth, I seen it firsthand, just being with them, understanding who they are and seeing where they started from, and as far as understanding the playbook and football as a whole period, you know what I'm saying? I seen it on Saturday, like these kids can break tackles, these kids can, catch, they can do a whole bunch of lot, you know what I'm saying? But
guy on the defensive side of the ball that, having been around last season and watching them now that you've seen really progress and say, hey, man, he's made a big jump.
I like JQ Hardaway, number 6, yeah, and I like Tarian, the corner, number 20, freshman, yeah. I like those two.
Big dudes.
Yeah. And DJ Waller too. Yeah.
How nice is it for running backs when y'all get to play 11 on 11 and then like tackle on the ground happens?
Mm-hmm.
You all, it's not just thudding. You can actually.
Man, I've been waiting for that, man. I've been waiting for that, man. We ain't been, we've been thudding up. That's just normal. But like, I haven't felt the ground in like a long time until that scrimmage. You know what I'm saying? So that was definitely exciting for me personally. Like, I really like to be physical. You know what I'm saying? That's another part of my game that I really like. So Saturday, that was like a real fun, exciting moment for me. I just wanted to see what I could do myself. You know what I'm saying? And so y'all seen that,
I mean, you mentioned Jamarion there. What about him has changed the most from last year to this year?
As far as just like progression into the playbook, you know what I'm saying? So like Mar, he's always gonna have the talent, he's always gonna have the speed, you know what I'm saying? And it's just getting deeper into the playbook and understanding football, you know what I'm saying, as a whole football player, you know. So freshman year that was the freshman year to just, you know what I'm saying, be on the scout team and just understand things from, you know, the back seat, you know what I'm saying? So now he's starting to drive a little more now, you know what I'm saying? So really his mindset, I would say his mindset. I see the growth in his mindset.
How's that chemistry been building with Brock, and just what have you seen from him so far?
Brock, that's my guy, man. It was a couple plays from the scrimmage that just showed me how the season gonna go. Like just as far as like chemistry, it was a play where I wasn't even supposed to get the ball, or you know what I'm saying. I'm not a receiver, so I can't go downfield and block. That'd be a flag. So I just turn around and Brock give me the ball. You know what I'm saying. I'm gonna always catch it for him, and you know what I'm saying. We're laughing about little things like that after the scrimmage and things like that. So I definitely am like looking forward to playing with him just this whole season.
What's the number one thing that kind of stands out about him to you?
Man, his faith in God. Like he's so like, I want to say holy or something like that. Like he don't even cuss. Like he shortens his cuss words. Like he say she or like fudge, or you know what I'm saying. Just different things like that. So that's just pretty cool about it. You know what I'm saying. So he's pretty pure, I would say. Yeah, down to earth guy. Yeah.
Teammates laugh.
Yeah. Like a lot of guys don't realize it. You know, there's a few guys who peep it, but you know, yeah, that's just Brock for you.